No fucking way. What the hell was that in Blue Lock Chapter 2 to 99? After a couple of eternal weeks of waiting, Chapter 299 of Blue Lock finally dropped. And honestly, it hit with way more emotional weight than anyone expected. A lot of us thought it was going to be another chapter focused on characters in crisis, Nagi breaking down in tears, Reeo trying to comfort him, and everyone else in full tragedy mode. But nope, we got something much deeper, loaded with symbolism, and with a direct message from Ego Jinpachi that left everyone's minds blown. Because Blue Lock, when it wants to be, isn't just about football. Like someone once said, Blue Lock isn't a sports story, it's a life lesson using football as an excuse. And damn, that phrase couldn't be more true. This chapter is packed with content and interesting points to break down, so without further ado, let's get into it. It starts with some players celebrating the offers they received and the chance to play in the World Cup. But on the flip side, we've got Tokimitsu and others emotionally shattered, crying after being cut from the project. Even Igarashi, despite getting a $3 million offer, ended up tied for 36th place with Nishioka, the Messi of Aomori. Then comes the twist: Isagi, without anyone pushing him, steps forward and demands an explanation for Nagi's exclusion, directly questioning Ego for leaving out the most talented player. Ego's response is blunt. Even though Nagi had his moments of brilliance, his performance was inconsistent, and that tanked his value. At that point, Reeo Mikage jumps in to defend his friend, saying Nagi has a unique talent, one capable of miracles even if he doesn't always shine. He pleads for a reevaluation, convinced that a mistake has been made. This scene is powerful because it shows how much Isagi and Reeo believe in Nagi. It's not just personal affection. Isagi values other teammates like Kiora, Raichi, or Nanase, but he's still willing to risk one of them getting cut just to keep Nagi in the team. His faith in Nagi's talent is real. To them, he's key to achieving their goals. That's the essence of friendship. Being there, standing up for each other, even when things get messy or, like in this case, when maybe they're wrong. But Ego ends up kicking all of them out. Still, Isagi and Reeo kept fighting for Nagi, until Ego shattered every last bit of their conviction in a single moment. Ego starts breaking down the truth behind Nagi's talent. He admits Nagi has skills, but suggests maybe they weren't as extraordinary as everyone thought. Maybe we all overrated him. He explains that talent is deeply affected by environment, and that when Nagi beat Isagi, it was because everything around him aligned perfectly. But that was just an illusion. Ego says that by selling the world a false image of Nagi, Reeo and the others created pressure and expectations that were impossible to maintain. And then he drops one of the best lines of the chapter: "Then talent doesn't die because of defeat. It dies because of satisfaction. It's like a beast that, once its stomach is full, forgets how to hunt." Nagi, after beating Isagi thanks to Reeo and the circumstances, felt satisfied. Even though he tried to create a fake ego to stay in the game, he didn't really have the hunger or ambition needed to keep growing. That was the root of his stagnation. And Ego doesn't hesitate to blame Reeo for not noticing that Nagi's inner fire had already gone out. Nagi kept playing only because he didn't want to lose Reeo, not out of passion. And in Blue Lock, that kind of thinking just doesn't fly. In this project, only the crazy survive. The ones who are willing to give it all up, who want to be the best in the world no matter what. Reeo is one of those lunatics, but Nagi no longer belongs to that elite. His talent, though incredible, withered due to lack of ambition. Reeo managed to carry him for a while, but eventually Nagi couldn't keep up. It's painful to accept that Nagi wasn't as brilliant as we thought. A diamond in the rough, yes, but a flower that refused to bloom. Ego's sun never reached him. From the start, both Ego and Prince believed in his potential, but once they saw he wasn't improving or even trying to grow, they dropped him like a failed experiment. Talent alone isn't enough. It has to be paired with insane ambition, fueled day after day. Ego's speech, though brutal, is raw and honest. That collective madness is what makes Blue Lock so unique. Ego dropped one of the most savage lines in the manga, leaving Reeo in silent tears and completely humiliating Nagi. After that downpour of truth, all Reeo can do is beg him to stop, his eyes full of tears, hiding his face under his shirt, while Nagi looks like he's about to answer, and that's where the chapter ends. Seeing Nagi this defeated is devastating. He's broken, hollow, like his whole world just crumbled. This was one of his biggest dreams, and watching it collapse turns him into a shadow of what he could have been. All signs point to chapter 300 being his farewell. He'll probably tell Reeo that Ego was right, that he no longer has the will to keep going, that he was only clinging to Blue Lock to stay by Rio's side, but that the fire's just not there anymore, and that even though he'll still love him, he'll do it from afar. And that makes sense, because everything points to the players not in the top 23 being out of the project. Nagi will have to find a place on another team, maybe Manshine City alongside Agi, the only team still interested in him. But he won't be going to the U20 World Cup with his beloved Reeo. What's crazy is that we all thought Reeo was the emotionally dependent one, that he'd be left behind while Nagi evolved without him. But it was the opposite. That became even clearer with Nagi's spin-off. Reeo without Nagi grew massively, leveled up, found new drive. But Nagi couldn't do the same. His evolution stopped. In the next chapter, we'll probably see Nagi cry. Something that didn't happen in this one but feels inevitable. Chapter 299 was a masterpiece. The narrative, the dialogue, the emotional weight, it was all spectacular. I'm really hyped to see what's coming and to watch Nagi's farewell from the project. Reeo will continue his path alone, carrying both of their dreams in his heart. Truly beautiful. Pure cinema. I had to make this video because what happened in 299 was absolutely insane. The impact was massive and once again shows just how much Blue Lock has to offer. A lot of us thought it was going to be one of those chapters where Nagi was dreaming or imagining an alternate play. But no. This time, Ego wasn't just speaking to the characters, he was speaking to us. He made us realize we overrated Nagi, that we didn't truly understand what Blue Lock is about, that we got comfortable with his level, and that's not enough. He taught us that people have limits, but they have to break them. This chapter left some seriously powerful lessons. As always, I want to know what you think. You know I really care. I'll be reading your comments. See you in the next one. Bye.
See you later, family.